Hi everybody, welcome back to the Laidback Show. This is episode 8 and we are shooting in the grotto outside Awab's house in the garden. But we're going to start off the show today. It's me, Faisal Kapadia, Awab Alvi, the great Dr. Awab Alvi. We're going to start off the show today by a very tragic incident that's happened in Lahore. The little girl, Iman Malik, and her parents flew in from London for Eid with her, and she had a minor burn on her hand, and they took her to a hospital in Lahore. And apparently, she got some kind of sedatives by the doctor over there, and she died on the spot. So, you being a doctor, tell us how something like that could happen.
I think the biggest problem that I keep on assuming is probably either expired medicines or overdose of medicine. I mean, because if it's a sedative could actually put you to sleep technically, and if the heart levels and all these things are dropped to a certain level, that it just keeps on, it just leads to death. And I'm just seriously shocked. You and I can relate to a 3-year-old child. We both have kids, and
It's very tragic, but I don't understand how the Pakistan Medical Association can let doctors like this practice. I know for a fact that there's so many universities, and there's some really small cottage universities. They're like churning out.
For the good amount of 10 or 15 years, what has happened is this medical education has actually become a business. They initially promised to take in by a law. The PMDC allows them to take in 25 students, but they sneak in about a total 50.
यहाँ कौन सा law, कौन govern कर रहा है, कौन check कर रहा है?
देखो चेक PMDC कर रही है, मगर जब करती है तो वो it comes in for checking, and for that day they clean up the entire hospital.
So basically they indulge in wholesale fraud.
they do. In fact वही मैं करूँ, जब ये let's suppose 50 students आपके पूरे फाइनल ईयर तक गुजरते हैं, and they have allowed 25 only initially allowed, तो 50 लेकर निकलते तो राइट फाइनल जब रजिस्ट्रेशन का वक्त आता है तो रिश्वत चलती है, और साथ साथ 25 लोगों की जो फैमिली जो रजिस्टर्ड नहीं हो रहे, उनकी फैमिली माँ बाप हंगामा कर रहे होते, PMDC के बाहर कर रहे होते, किसी ना किसी की सवारी चलती है, अल्टीमेटली वो 25 भी रजिस्टर होते हैं.
You think it might not be the doctor's fault and it might be expired medicine?
I think the doctor is at fault who did it. If it's expired medicines,
yeah, I agree. But is there a possibility that it might be just expired medicine? I mean, I don't even understand why a doctor would give a 3-year-old such a powerful
pain is the issue.
For a burn.
It is. I mean, what happens in pain? The biggest problem in pain is the leaking of body fluids in the pain. So actually, the body is healthy, but it loses so much of body fluids that they have to infuse more in through drips, etc. So burn is सबसे extensive burns बात है, and जो death होती है because of dehydration, and that's the cause of death. When in the burn, the pain हो रहा हो, चाहे minor burn हो, बड़ा burn हो, the pain is probably the biggest thing. And I'm sure parents coming in must be more alert and screaming कि बच्ची को दर्द हो रहा है. उस लिहाज से sedative दिया, and sedative probably either overdose होती है or an expired sedative that actually took a literally another.
The parents have raised a big hue and cry.
Mind you, sedative अगर दिया है, if it's either an air bubble embolism into the artery itself, I mean during the injection, could be because बच्चों के हाथ में veins in arteries search करना मुश्किल. I mean, if it's
you think it might be that?
It could be that. It could be malpractice in that. Say it could be intramuscular. If it was
malpractice exists in Pakistan. I mean, it happens wholesale.
It does happen. I mean, an example being Wasim Akram's wife, who allegedly came to a dentist a month before in Karachi, and either because of scaling, etc., ended up catching up disease. And the scaling में क्या हो? It's not scaling.
So people should be careful when they go to dentists.
Well, they have to be careful. They have to go into a place where there's good sterilization. I mean, that's broad spectrum. I mean, I'm sure ये जो family जो गई है from England, they've come in. They must be aware of a doctor's hospital, decent hospital. I mean,
I've heard it's a very good hospital.
It's very good. So it's not they made sure that, I mean, I give them an example. Doctor's hospital हुआ यहाँ कराची. We don't know the name of the dentist जिसके पास गई है. Neither investigation is there. So what happened? How did that unsterilize, or was it because of scaling, or what was it? We are assuming it was because of scaling.
I mean, hats off to the Chief Justice of Pakistan. He's taken so much action on this today. But, and I don't want to take anything away from the parents' effort. But what I want to stress on over here is...
There's a website that's...
Yeah, imani.co.uk. They've made this website. And it's excellent that they're pursuing justice. And justice should be served. We're totally behind them. What I want to know is that there's so much malpractice that goes on in Pakistan. Why doesn't the Chief Justice take notice or something like that?
I think जो ज़्यादा public issues, suo motu is basically when it reaches the Chief Justice or someone approaches him, and they don't have any recourse to legal action. The suo motu is voluntarily he takes it. And I think जितना ज़्यादा hype होता है उतना ज़्यादा. I mean, example being South Khan, no one took notice of that because there was there's so many issues, so many
big people involved,
and payoffs happened. And everything went through. So I think so action लेना चाहिए जब approach किया जाता है, and the family's been really after them and trying to get it. So we're getting some coffee.
We're getting some coffee and moving on. I mean, we totally support the family. Our condolences to Akil Saab and his family for what happened, and we're behind them 100%. As I said before. Moving on to a lighter topic.
Sorry.
What about the Tiger Woods issue? Shoaib Taimur gave us this topic, and I want to say this was first for us. We tweeted for topics, and we got 5-6 topics within 3 minutes, and the response was amazing.
You randomly did it, and इसके बाद मुझे क्या कहता है कि यार वो मैंने tweet किया, and people gave a good resounding welcome, and I think that's a good idea.
So what about the Tiger Woods issue? What do you think happened?
Yeah, extramarital affairs, everyone has.
No, not everybody has them. Come on. But still,
everyone in Hollywood does.
Not really. You can't just generalize like that. Let's just say, give our audience some background on this. Tiger Woods, $1 billion brand, golfer.
You want sugar or you want can?
I'll take sugar.
Okay. Yeah, chini la do.
$1 billion brand. He goes and he wrecks his car on some fire hydrant somewhere. His SUV.
Yeah, and he only got fined for reckless driving.
Yeah, $170.
So, but that's how did the media come out with that recording?
Well, वो media scrutiny उस पे आई और उसके बाद एक से एक चीज निकलती रही, and then they found out that he was allegedly having something with a cocktail waitress, and first the waitress denied, and then another cocktail waitress came up by the voicemail recording.
You know, यहाँ Hollywood में तो and the Hollywood American media can cook up a lot. Okay, I don't know if this is authenticated or just people.
But now he's released a statement that that there has been some indiscretions on my part, and we need to sort this out privately. So something must have happened.
Something must have happened.
But I mean, being a celebrity yourself, tell me.
Me? तुम तो आजकल बहुत बड़े celebrity. Yeah, no, but even then, I think.
Is there a lot of temptation? What happens, man? Tell us about the glam life.
Straight guy, no issues at all.
No, not you. I'm talking genuinely.
Yeah, you look at
you know a lot of people in the media business.
That's right.
You know a lot of them fool around.
One or two.
Two, please.
Yeah, they fool around, and I think that happens very fresh.
You're dropping sugar cues when there's a shortage of sugar in Pakistan.
Sugar.
And these are imported sugar cues. They're not available in Pakistan.
ये तो खुश करने के लिए गया
हाँ बिल्कुल मेरे लिए तो आई अभी तो इम्पोर्ट हुई है मेरे
बाइकॉट शुगर मैं कैंडल करूँ यार तुम ही शुगर खा रहे यार
तो what do you think happens? I mean, why do men in such positions? I mean, because he's got a beautiful wife. Why would he do something like this? And he's a clean character, man. He's not like those other. He's not a rock star.
Everyone wants to bite and nibble.
Okay, bite and nibbling. Okay, moving on. I think we better move on before we shoot ourselves in the virtual balls here. Okay?
I think it's better, but what I'm justifying is I don't think we should.
You should not justify.
No, I'm justifying the fact that that Hollywood में होता है. I mean, these are people who live on these media bubbles, media hypes, and so I don't think you should be surprised when Hollywood में हुआ. पाकिस्तान में बड़े अंडर द कवर चले जाते हैं the women.
पाकिस्तान में बड़ा खुला होता है इसको you know for a fact. अब आप जो है ज़्यादा justification देने की कोशिश नहीं करें. बड़ा ओपनली होता है यहाँ पे भी और आपको पता है कौन कौन करता है कौन कौन नहीं करता. But moving on, there's a serious issue at hand as well. What happened today in Rawalpindi, Islamabad? People entered a mosque at Jummah prayers, shot a lot of people, threw grenades and blew themselves up, and 35 people have been confirmed dead up till now. And
you think? Well, I have a slight.
3 major generals and 3 brigadier generals and a major general have died with their children.
Have you realized that almost every show that we've done, we have some sad story of this sort?
Yeah, you know, every time I do a show, I want it to be funny. I want it to be humorous because people enjoy that. Because people want to get away from all the death and violence, but you can't do it because something happens every now and then. You just saw this Iman incident, this incident today in Islamabad. It's just so saddening, man. I mean, where are we going?
It's important to be discussed. It's important to be discussed, and I think, जो मैं जो feel करना, especially this incident that happened, I think this continuously is what we're getting stuck in a very cyclic cycle where the militants rack up their offensive and the army comes up and tries to hit them. And how long are you going to take it on? I mean, if it's Islamabad,
but like
now,
I said before, what choice do we have? What choice do we have with people who are willing to go to this length?
There was a study done in 2001, 2002, where they analyze all the wars that have happened across the world. And उन सारे wars की जो study किया उन्होंने कहा there was 7% of wars were settled by conflict, direct conflict. The 60% was settled by negotiation, offense, and dialogue. Tell me one thing.
How can you talk to these people?
I'm right. First, this research has been done on hundreds of wars that have happened. We must see some trend. I mean, if you were saying 50% offensive हुआ है और नहीं हुआ, so I think they're inhuman people, but you have to come to a human situation. Let the army do what it wants to, but on the back step you have to be ready with some peace negotiation table, open, ready. कि जिस वक्त 10 लोग आए negotiate करने के लिए हम बैठेंगे, negotiate करेंगे and make sure you know what.
तो 10 लोगों का भरोसा क्या है?
Yeah, 10 लोगों का भरोसा. What you have to do technically when you're doing war side type situation, the army.
Look, I think you should either engage in war or peace. You cannot do both.
You can. And I give you a good example. Martial law जब हो रहा था, तो हम लोग we were on the street protesting.
You were.
Yeah, I was on the street protesting, and one funny incident that always.
I was all for much. I'm all for martial law right now.
Yeah, John. अभी भी तो the army is doing its work. अच्छा, whatever. जो वहाँ जो होता था, पुलिस आती थी लाठी चार्ज करने के, लाठी लेकर खड़ी होती थी और हम लोग यहाँ जाकर फूल देते. अच्छा, and that was a very very touching situation where they're ready and they would not take it.
मुंह पे नहीं मारा किसी ने फूल.
हमने नहीं दिया, खवातीन ने दिया.
अच्छा, ठीक है.
हमको देंगे तो वो तड़प करके वापस आएगा. खवातीन ने जाकर and they gave them फूल. थोड़ी देर नहीं लेंगे, अल्टीमेटली एक पकड़ लेंगे और अचानक पूरी पुलिस की लाइन में से हंसी छूट गई. अच्छा, what had happened is उसमें ये होता था कि वो फिर भी उनको ऑर्डर मिलता था मारते. But if you can imagine कि एक softness है, human softness.
सारे इंसान तो है ना.
अरे that's what we have to realize कि वे इंसान हैं, इनकी एक agendas are different, they're fighting a different agenda. We have to soften that. Softening करने का ये है कि एक तुम मार के तुम अपने बच्चे को कितना मारोगे वो सीख वो नहीं सीख. जब तक आप प्यार मोहब्बत से भी स्कोल्डिंग करो. इसी तरह ये भी हमारे भाई हुए. भाई तो जो है ये तो भाई तो नहीं हुआ because
आपके भाई
but I'm just saying they're people, the human people that you have to interact with. मारो जो गलत काम करे उसको मारो, मगर you have to be ready with the negotiation table outside.
Putting another thread in this discussion, Nabil Uppal gave us a topic about the AFPAC strategy.
The
Obama one, and how Obama has announced in July
took Obama
2011 that he's going to pull out.
Russia ran away with the tail between the legs. And it took Obama 1 year to realize that it will take me another 18 months to put my tail between my legs and run out.
No, but what I don't understand is this guy is a Nobel Peace Prize winner.
What Nobel Peace Prize?
I mean, एक TC करने की भी इंटरनेशनली हद होती है कि एक आदमी को जिसने 30,000 ट्रूप्स एस्केलेशन कर दी वॉर में, शर्म आनी चाहिए उसको. He should return the bloody Nobel Peace Prize according to me. If he has any integrity.
Disband the entire Nobel Peace.
No, because they're not winning. 32 में से अभी तक 20 provinces तालिबान के कंट्रोल में. This is a fact. The poppy cultivation is going on as usual. Helmand province, controlled by the British troops, has the largest poppy crop in the world. Still going on. Nobody's burning that crop. That crop is a financial supply for the Taliban. Why is it not being burned? Why is all this happening? All these are questions nobody has answers to. And this guy escalates.
I was watching. There was World Watch on CNN. There were 3 or 4 people discussing it, and actually 2 people were voiced very simply. Okay, the problem is कि you've squeezed Afghanistan जितना कर सकते हैं. आपने सारे जो terrorists आपने यहाँ भेज दिए पाकिस्तान में. The problem is if you keep on
them in Balochistan.
If you keep on squeezing, they'll keep on coming this way. And who do you value?
Are they here? Do you think they're here?
Yeah, they are here, or someone else along their same lines are here. Actually, even the problem is यहाँ squeeze कर रहे हैं, इधर जा रहे हैं. So it's not a game of I win, you win, or I win, you lose. It's basically more. It should be for an understanding कि come to a peaceful settlement कि भाई अच्छा नहीं. This is the offensive. These offensive are not going on in the states now. You can even. It's right here.
इन लोगों से आज तक nobody's won from them in history. You know this. Alexander the Great tried. Afghanis. He had to marry a local tribesman's daughter to appease the people. You know, Genghis Khan tried. He couldn't do it. The Red Army tried. They couldn't do it. Now America is trying. They can do it, and hats off to the Pakistan army. They are the only ones who seem to be able to
They're
fight these people.
just the puppets trying to fight someone else's war. That's what
It's not someone else's war. Why do you keep saying that, man?
Yeah, I don't want to use a bad word, but it's up our asses. The American war is stuck up our asses. Now we got to react to it. Just because
it's not an American war. They're killing us.
It didn't start off from the American war. It started with the Afghanistan squeeze. Afghanistan के offensive में, they didn't seal off our borders. They didn't enable us to seal off. ये था कि if you seal one side of the border and you squeeze because they were running towards mountains and they came on the side.
But do you realize if America wouldn't have moved in, they would have still tried to take over Pakistan?
I think
they would have still tried.
Maybe, but
they want that.
I think I disagree.
And after Pakistan, they want India.
Pakistan was still not a very safe haven for all these. They were these northwest frontier provinces में थे, मगर इतनी जो अभी जो offensive है is because they are attacking the Pakistan army or military personnel just because they're fighting someone else's war. They're not standing on their 2 feet, and our government is basically bending over backwards and doing everything that they want.
So what do you think is going to happen when the US army leaves? They're going to quiet down? I don't think so.
Absolutely not.
तो फिर हमारी war हुई ना यार. We're fighting for our own survival.
It's not a you win, I win situation. It's more of a peace. Come to a compromise. Come to a peaceful situation.
What compromise?
That's what I'm saying. You have to. देखो अगर मारोगे कितनी देर मारोगे यार?
खत्म करो, मैं तो बताऊँ उड़ा दो सबको यार.
कितना मार? Are you sure you're gonna? I tell you and I explain to you right away. कि you remember before 9/11, before I called myself a modern, who was neither pro-American, entirely pro, neither pro-Islamic and extreme fundamentalism. Right now, I and many of us have actually gone against America because of this America's war against us.
Now they've even given CIA permission to extend their drone attacks.
So it's actually you actually see this getting any better. I don't. What I'm saying, we have to trend the mental psyche towards middle ground. If you're going to keep on warring, you're going to blow. I do actually believe that Afghanistan को मार के if you blow a nuclear bomb there,
I believe you can defeat.
But are you not? Are you going to not create
only the Pak army can defeat? I don't believe the US forces can do anything.
Then if you know if they're not going to be defeated, what's the next step? Either you keep on.
I think they should leave and leave it to us right away. They shouldn't delay it, because I'm telling you, this will be this will be 10 times worse than Vietnam for them. Because they cannot fight.
They're not fighting. We are fighting.
No, they are fighting in Afghanistan.
They're not fighting. They've created those front barracks. They've created that. They're not. You don't see कभी कभार बम फट जाते हैं, but हमारे पाकिस्तान आर्मी वाले को नहीं, क्योंकि they're on the front line now. पहले होते ये जो Americans हैं, these are air conditioner वाले बंदे, और इनको तो अपने बाहर निकलने के लिए उनको टाइम चाहिए. मुझे 10 मिनट के बाहर जाना है, मैं वापस आऊँगा, and they're very ship scared people. These are like बच्चे यार जो लड़ने आते हैं, not professional. They're reserves also that are taken into them.
Well, yeah, Pak army is one of the most professional forces.
And they're fighting it with the balls too tied to the ground. Yeah, they're actually fighting it hard. And जो
fighting against their own brethren as well.
Actually, Swat में जो गए थे, it was the most difficult thing that they probably did. But they went in and they got beaten. They came out with offensive, but there reports that there are a lot of Jawans who died in that. Not even the limited ice से खबर निकल रही.
But they're not confirmed.
I think people have actually said a lot of said. I mean, they confirmed the ISPR कितनी बताएगा? ISPR कहेगा it always downplay whatever deaths they happened. They probably. So I don't think the ISPR जो report देता है, you've got trust. You have to take.
Chalo, we'll just agree to disagree over here. You're all for the peace initiative. I say wipe them out, whatever it takes.
You can't wipe an entire race of that.
You cannot wipe the race, but those who have lifted arms against you, you can give them a bloody hard time.
I just keep on saying you have to come with peace. You can't, because मार बोल जाएगा इसमें.
But let's just hope that somebody comes to some solution, because we are under fire seriously.
Joe Biden, before his election campaign, had a very good strong strategy, and it was published also online. And right now Obama has categorically said he went against the advice of his vice president. So definitely there's a difference between the presidency house also. But I hope the common sense has not prevailed. He's adding more people. What else we have to talk about?
Well, Saad Khan gave us his topic.
Saad Khan,
not this, not him. That was another tragedy we discussed in the previous shows. He's given us this topic of cooking shows, and he hates them.
Cooking shows.
I don't get it, because
what do we have to do with cooking shows?
Well, he just wants us to discuss this and why there are so many cooking shows on air and what's the point.
Yeah,
I think they serve their purpose. I think they have a utility.
they're on the wrong time, sir. They should be in the morning. जब
Why?
housewives घर पे हो यार.
तो यार हाउसवाइफ घर पे शाम को देखेगी, रात को खाना पकाएगी.
शाम को मियाँ रिमोट कंट्रोल मियाँ के हाथ में होता है. He flips over
Not
to
everybody
Alvi.
comes back शाम को, डॉक्टर साहब. I come back home at 9:30 at night.
Well, I think it's even then. I mean, these cooking shows run 24 hours a day. There could be other times there. I flip through it. The problem is ये जो cooking shows.
The point he's making is not the time frame. The point he's making is why are they there?
They serve it. They need. I mean, there's a market to it. There's Masala TV. I mean, can you imagine an entire channel dedicated to cooking?
Why shouldn't our housewives have some kind of entertainment that they like? Do they have to keep on watching this 24-hour news bloodbath?
The Noor wale would love these things. I mean, because they're getting grinded.
Ask a housewife, she would rather watch Poppy than Shahid Masood.
No, would no, they should rather watch Bollywood. Planet Bollywood.
Maybe we can convince Poppy to have some Bollywood actresses with her.
Well, we should have Poppy over here and do a cooking show and irritate Saad Khan.
So moving on, the whole issue of how Islam is moving into the new frontier and how Islam is evolving itself.
How did that? How are you putting that in reference to this discussion?
Well, you see, these days we are being demonized from left, right, and center as Muslims.
After 9/11?
Yeah. So I mean, and Shoaib Taimur again gave us this topic, and he wanted us to discuss the fact that shouldn't we evolve with the times? Shouldn't we come up with an interpretation of our religion which is more acceptable to the world?
I disagree. I think you'll become like the Christians, Bible revisions.
No. I'm not saying revise the Quran. That cannot be done. I'm saying that there are various interpretations of the Quran. Some are acceptable to the world's population, and some are quite stringent. Why don't we move away from the stringent for a bit? Why do we have to keep on convert or kill? What kind of philosophy is this?
I don't think it's convert or kill, but yes, हमारे Quran में.
And be careful, because last time, on the Hajj thing, you got a very bad comment on that thing. People are talking about religion when they don't know anything about it.
Qurbani ko.
But we're practicing Muslims. We have a right to discuss our religion, right? So, do you think we should evolve with the time?
I don't think we should evolve, but I think there is definitely a softer attitude that can be taken off. Okay? And as we and both of you have been to Dr. Khalid Tanveer's discussion, and Ramdi Saab ko bhi main kafi dar sunta raha hu. They are more of a moderate scholars as compared to Maulana.
Should we adapt that line?
Well, Maulana Diesel is in the answer. Maulana Diesel on the other side, the other Maulvis on the other side. I'm quite happy not to see him frequently on TV now.
I'm happy to not see any Maulana on TV. Look, seriously, I don't have anything against them per se, but today such an atrocity has happened in Juma prayers. अभी तक कितने आए टीवी पे कंडेम करने के लिए उसको? क्यों नहीं आते यार?
It's sad.
मुसलमान मर रहे हैं, क्यों नहीं आते? तो वो बात हो जाती है कि जो एक मारने वाला भी कलमा पढ़ रहा है, मरने वाला भी कलमा पढ़ रहा है, तो शहीद को. Is that a joke? It could happen. You realize this could happen in Karachi as well. If they're extending into Balochistan, they can bomb any house in Karachi.
I'm sorry, I'm just veering off. Just talking about the flight over. I mean, I was talking to a pilot who actually flies the PIA flight every week, and he's doing it for about 10 15 years. He says that even my experience, I cannot fly into a plane regardless if I can get that GPS coordinates. I cannot so targetedly fly into a plane.
Why not?
Because वो कहते हैं कि can you imagine ऊपर से जब आप देख रहे होते हैं तो the sky looks the same, the ground looks the same. तो नीचे से आपका elevation building की
You mean the horizon?
Horizon looks the same. अच्छा, and when you're coming from a higher altitude, everything, even वो कहते हैं the only मैं कराची जब land कर रहा होता हूँ, so the only making landmark I can pinpoint, that's what they fly on, is the Qaeda Mazar.
Because those two buildings are pretty big damn landmarks.
But नीचे से, mind you, नीचे से. But not from the up.
Well, New York में से भी आप अगर skyline पे fly करो, what are you saying? You're saying this was a conspiracy, right? You're one of those. This was a Jewish conspiracy. They didn't come to the World Trade Center that day.
I think
they were all absent from their jobs.
I think that the people inside were expertly trained and funded by people.
Man, when are we going to stop blaming the Jews for every
Not
damn
Jews,
thing?
not Jews. I mind you. देखो यहाँ भी even now जो terrorist organizations चल रही हैं, it's not the Americans or Jews who sit with them and plan. It's actually the Americans, Jews, or whoever. I'm not saying who, but whoever just gives them a seed money and say, actually, you're on that track. Here's no money.
Why the hell would Americans fund terrorists? Are you? Why would they do that? They're
What
spending
about
billions
Blackwater,
of.
yaar? You were the. We've seen constant reports. अभी
Acha, on
Vanity
Blackwater,
Fair-
on
Vanity
Blackwater,
Fair.
do you think Blackwater now has a utility? Okay, instead of these drone attacks, they can pinpoint them from the air, and then the Blackwater people can go in and kill
That's-
less civilians
they
and
knew-
get the bad guys.
Who's deciding who's a civilian? That guy with a shotgun sitting on a rooftop and trying to pinpoint ये मेरा civilian.
Who's deciding now with the drone attacks?
They can drone attacks. Either they have to be targeted, or
No, but target अगर drone करे और नीचे से जाके बंदा मारे, wouldn't that result in less civilian casualties?
ये Blackwater यहाँ घूम रही है अपने शहर में यार.
तो
वो आप तो वहाँ की बलूचिस्तान की बात
तो वहाँ पे भी होगी. अगर यहाँ है तो वहाँ पे भी होगी.
These are not the actual militant type. Or they could be. They are the militant type, but we've got Vanity Fair में उसके खिलाफ article छपा Blackwater Eric Prince, and Eric Prince reacted on air
Because they have leaked sensitive information. From his point of view, you can understand it. Because he's been outed
Yeah, I'm glad.
by his government organization. We are glad. But what about his life?
It was.
He did
the
something.
The Americans are not allowed to run by law. Are not allowed to run assassination.
But
teams.
covert operations take place all the time, man.
But this is actually a covert, deliberate.
We are not allowed to do a lot of stuff we do. You know, judge everybody by the same
हमारे
book.
मुल्क में आकर running covert.
भाई आपके मुल्क में आपके बगैर इजाजत तो नहीं आए ना, ये तो मैं और आप दोनों जानते हैं. तो फिर
boys me Zardari ke, you remember the 12 cartoons that have gone disappearing? You've read the report. There are 12 cartoons who Wajid al-Shams from the the UK High Commission, who flew to Switzerland to the lawyer's office. The people have not confirmed, but there's video also on YouTube where they see 12 boxes being loaded into a car, and after that, these were evidence of the Swiss case against Zardari, and they've disappeared. And it's
so coming back to the Islam topic, do you think Islam should evolve?
Islam should not evolve. Islam, we are
Why not?
understanding. The understanding.
यार everything is evolving. देखो पहले हज में देखो मेरी बात सुनो. पहले हज में वो कंकर मारने के लिए इतनी सी पिलर्स होते थे, उस पे इतने स्टैम्पीड होते थे, फतवा आ गया, they made walls out of that. Isn't that better?
I think you're using the wrong word. Evolve. I think you moderate and.
I'm not talking about changing the text.
Yes,
I'm talking about changing the interpretation of the religion, or maybe coming up with a unified interpretation that's acceptable.
But यार तुम Ahledis, Barelvi, so इन सबको एक
Yeah, but for the greater good, why not?
यार greater good होता तो ये हमारे शिया सुन्नी के फड्डे नहीं हो रहे थे यार.
हाँ तो क्यों होते हैं फटे? मुझे तो समझ में नहीं आता है यार.
A business model of vested interest in all these things.
Well, money is involved. Everything's gonna get tainted anyways. Well, this was the Laidback Show. You want to wrap up now?
Yeah. Twitter.com/Laidback Show and laidbackshow.com. We also have a Facebook page. I think tomorrow your idea of tweeting for topics.
We should continue
that, or even I think I started initially a delicious account for the Laidback Show, where people can share articles or relevant.
Yeah, that would be a good idea.
I think we should make this an evolving topic situation where we, by audience driven topics, or we can rankle all we want if we don't get much of topics. But I think if audience driven conversation with you.
Yeah, but our audience is great. We love your feedback. Please keep it coming. You know, we're trying to make this better and better.
Thank you.
And thank you. Have a good weekend.
Faisal Kapadia and Dr. Awab will be signing off for
Stay
the
safe.
8th episode of the Laidback Show.
Thank you.